Hello beautiful ladies and welcome back to my channel. Today I had quite a few requests for a tutorial on how I created this look. It's super simple, but I just wanted to go over it with you since I had the requests. So it's 3 scarves. I have a Tuff 2-in-1, an Israeli square, and a melody. This is a pin, I don't remember the name of it, but it's still available as of yesterday on the Rapunzel site. So this is just the pin. Any pin can be used. It's the one I had on hand when I was getting ready this morning to go out. So I'm going to start by taking this one off and showing you how I wrapped it up. Now, I chose the colors because I found this absolutely fabulous no, it's not a Wendy. Ugh, my brain. I found this absolutely fabulous melody with lots of different strips. And I really, really enjoyed this particular piece of the scarf. So I based all the colors off of that one strip. We'll turn it. That was right side out. Okay. Now this can be done with any sari scarf or any melody. Now, take this guy off here. I have on my classic shaper and the velvet headband. My hair is coiled up underneath the same as I do for my Wendy, and this is just put on over top of it. I'm finding that I actually like this. In my back to basics series, I'm going to be discussing these in a few weeks. I'm still trying to wear them all, but I really find that I like this one as an alternative to my Wendy. Now, so I started out with this olive green Tuff 2-in-1 by folding over the front edge just a tad, just to give it a nice clean edge at the front. Now, of course, it also will help you to fit your head better by folding over the edge. I'm going to place it on my head at an angle. I want the long end of the long tail of my scarf to come out on the opposite side of where my angle is. So, like so. But I need enough of this scarf to come up and tuck away. I think this will do for me, but when I'm putting on an angle, I have to remember, and I think this is something some people struggle with. If you don't, then oh my gosh, you are amazing. But getting the angle to be the opposite, remember to get the angle the opposite of where your long tail is. Okay, now that I've jumbled through that, I'm tying myself a knot in the back just to hold the scarf in place. Simple knot. Okay, now the second scarf that I'm going to be tying on is my Israeli in the berry color. I'm just folding over a small portion of the top edge. Whichever end you fold over will be your top edge, but this is just a triangle folded over. I'm going to place it on my head at the same angle, trying to get the scarf centered so that you have equal tails. But I'm going to place it on at the same angle as my green. Now when I get to here, because it's different than an oblong, I'm going to hold the scarf out, and I'm going to start with my fingers gathering up gathering up the scarf. I'm going to put it underneath of this green tail. So I want this one in the back. I'm going to tie, I'm going to show you the back of it and tie the knot so you see what the back looks like right this minute. So we have this, and then I'm tying the knot. I'm going to try to get the knot stacked on top of the other one so that there's not a huge amount of pressure right here. I don't want them, no bulk, no pressure, stacking the knots. Okay, now this portion I'm going to adjust to make this even, a nice even line. Okay. Now I'm not worried that this portion here, it doesn't go back this way. It will be covered up. I just didn't want to take a chance on this being blousy. That's another thing with squares. They tend to blouse a little bit across that top edge unless you fold them under. So I didn't want to take a chance on that. So I just let it fall where it did. As long as it didn't come up here, I was good with it. Now, for this look, I wanted this strip to be right next to my face. So in order to get it there, I folded over the first strip because it's the first two strips, because it is the third strip in. I also wanted to have a really beautiful motif here, one of the floral motifs here to draw your eye, because I think it's attractive. So in order to get that and balance out the length of the tail on this side and this side, I started by folding over the first two strips. So I got this. Now, when I put it on my head, I want the long tail to end up on the same side as the other long tail, and the short tail on this side. So I placed it on my head, and each time I do this, I could change it up and use a different motif, a different portion of the scarf. I am going to show you as close to what I did earlier as possible. I'm placing it on my head, and you see these two beautiful flowers. All right, now I don't need all of this back here, so I just gather it up, or you could fold it under. It's up to you. I just pushed it forward. I just did this, walked it forward, but it's up to you. Now I'm going to do it the way I did it earlier, and I hope it's helpful for you. Okay, I'm placing it on my head like so. Now I'm getting my scarf in hand, pulling it up over the bulge in the back, my shaper. I'm taking it under all of the tails, and I'm going to just tie a knot. I can adjust as I find necessary the front, but I feel like I need to get this knot in right away. But as you can see my shaper a bit. I feel like once I get all the knots tied, it's easier to adjust. And then I can pull on my scarf on this side just to get it to lay properly. I want to make sure that none of the scarves are tied into it too. But there you see I've got my motif, I've got my short tails and long tails. Now for this one, I need to have a base for all of these, or a place for all of these to tuck in, because these will not go all the way around. So I'm going to start on this side with the green, because this one is long enough. This one still is only so long, and it wouldn't be long enough to start with. So I'm going to start with my Tuff 2-in-1, fold it into thirds, and bring it up. Making sure to go at the back, going in the back direction at the diagonal, following the line here on the melody. Now I'm pulling it back. I'm just going to bring it down. Careful not to grab the other scarves. I'm going to bring it around the back. It just sits on top of all of that in the back. I'm bringing it up, and I'm going to tuck into the pocket underneath of this green. Or I'm going to attempt to. There you are. Okay. And this will secure this piece. Now don't worry if there's a little bit of messiness on the side. It's okay. It will be covered up. You won't see it. Now I'm going to go like this. Okay, so that side is done for now. We're going to start with this side. For this, I am going to adjust. Let's see, we'll leave this in the back. It's okay, I believe. Now, I'm going to do the same thing, finding this strip. I'm going to fold in the first two and fold in the last. Now, I typically do fold in the last, fold in this way. You could do it either way. For this, it doesn't matter. But bringing it up at the same angle as this one, this side, but a little further back. We don't want to cover up the pink. Now here is where you're just going to adjust. You just make the adjustments before you tuck. Make it look neat. And then we're tucking in behind the green again, just like so. I like to make sure it's crisp folds, so it's not so messy. Because this stuff you will see. If it's being covered up, I don't fuss, but if I'm going to see it, I want it to be neat. And I'm going to see these. So I'm pulling and tucking. I may just retuck this one. Okay, so pull, tuck, 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 tuck. Okay, that's much better. I'm going to now pull up the pink. The green is the last one I'm pulling up. So I'm going to start. The squares are a little different when it comes to pulling up, or to making into the tails, because they're a very weird shape and they have little stray short bits. Now I'm folding them in, same as I would for the others, but I'm trying to make a more uniform shape. I want all the short pieces to be on the inside. I'm bringing it up in the back. I want to leave some of this showing, this strip. So I'm bringing it up, just covering up the back portion of the scarf, and I am tucking in. So you get something like this. Now, I am going to finish up this side. by folding into thirds and bringing up behind the pink this way and tucking in under the green. This is why it was important to begin wrapping with the green. Begin this bringing up the tails with the green because they're very short tails on this side. I'm going to adjust this and this is what I have on my right side. Now I'm going to finish up the left, starting with the pink, well, the berry. We're going to call it berry. Folding it into thirds, keeping all of the short pieces on the inside, on the underside. If you're smart, you'll clip off the tags. I don't always. I'm going to bring it up at the diagonal, the same as the green. Bring it back. And because this is a little wonky, I'm going to twist just once or twice. And I'm going to tuck it behind this green on this side, being careful not to pull it out too much. Now I can change the shape of my wrap just by pushing, giving it a good push so that it doesn't bulge out. Okay, now I'm going to take the last scarf, fold into thirds, and again with this strip I'm going to bring it up at the back I want to leave pink showing, berry showing, and I just adjust this to show what I want to show. And then when I got to here, I started just twisting the scarf all the way down. And I'm spinning around, but what I'm doing is bringing it around and I'm going to start tucking in the back right about here and tuck as much of it as I can all the way around to hide away and keep this in place. So I'm bringing it to the top. And then I'm just going to start tucking it away as I can. Don't worry, if this won't tuck, it won't tuck. It'll just lay neatly in a twist. That's the whole reason for the twist, to make for easy tucking. And just adjust where this lies because we don't want to see all the wonky pieces. You can just do this. And then you see this is what I have at the top. This is the left side. This is the right side. And then attach your pin. The pin will help anchor you in place. Like this. All right, ladies, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.